Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the weekly vigil on behalf of the Middle East. We're so grateful that so many of us keep up the continual rhythmic flow of the will to love, the will to peace, week after week. In this time of the new moon and the total solar eclipse over the United States, I thought, or more so a subjective impression, and please relate to it as so, came up to me to share with you this week about Israel, the Middle East, and the United States in this big mess that we are in the area. We have made so many mistakes, and without going into details, I feel isolated in the world. Things are going wrong. I know it. I see it. I don't agree with it. We in Israel are in the mud, and the United States help us being in the mud. What would we have done otherwise? What? What we do is to be the bad kids of the world at this time, the troublemakers. The world has gradually turned against Israel, and the United States stand with us so far. I am so ambivalent. In my inner being, I feel I have an ally in the United States. I'm not especially proud of it, but it makes me feel safer in this mess. And I'm talking as an Israeli, makes me feel safer. I would have liked things to turn out differently. I would have liked to have some sane arrangements among the peoples on the midway path, like simple, reasonable human beings. So, my dear friends, I allowed myself to share with you a very personal view, which is not easy for me to share, and maybe not easy for people to hear. And I'm so grateful for your being here, holding the space together. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Over to you, Uta.
Yeah, Helen, thank you. Thank you for this authentic, straight from the heart sharing. I think this is what is now called for, even if it's not easy, not to share and not to hear. And this time now, at this moment, soon in a few minutes, there will be the peak moment of the solar eclipse over the USA. And this time it seems it has mobilized a lot of forces, not only in the esoteric community. So we can build on this, we can use it, because we know that all is related. So let us keep this in mind, these many groups that are now gathering and linking in order to use this special moment for the betterment of our planet, for advancing a higher order. So since this focus is on the USA, this eclipse, we will also in the meditation take a brief moment to hold in our awareness the USA and its influence, its relationship to the Middle East. Of course, many nations have an influence in this complex situation. And as we go on Monday after Monday, we become more equipped to widen our view on this complexity. And surely the USA is one of the major players. Okay. So let us settle into our body and take a moment to just be with ourselves, releasing everything and just connecting to our innermost self. Feeling our heart and coming into this point of equilibrium within the heart. See if we can link with this place between the shoulder blades. And let our mind become silent and spacious and focused. Standing in soul identity. And linking now in with each other as souls, as silent watchers. Becoming aware for a moment of the magnet that we have become, that we have built together. As a group. And now let us turn our gaze to the Middle East. And forming a circle, a witnessing circle around the area of the violent conflict. And including in our awareness the many people from all over the world who join us in this loving witnessing. Becoming aware how we together hold a heart space. And also our minds now join into a one-pointed focus. The will to peace. Sensing our higher co-workers standing behind us in a second circle. And allowing ourselves to come into their vibration, into this focused love that they hold. And within this aura, let us now start to focus in on the various sections of the conflict, starting with Israel, the area of Israel, its location, its size, and the emotional and mental space of Israel. Silently watching, keeping our alignment. And turning our gaze now to the West Bank. Getting a sense of its size, its location, and the mental and emotional space, quality. And moving our eyes now to the Gaza Strip. Breathing, just silently holding space. Sensing into it. The physical aspect, the emotional, and the mental in the Gaza Strip. Focusing in on the border between Gaza and Egypt, southern border. And becoming aware of Egypt as one of the players in this conflict with its difficult role. And moving on to Jordan, to the east. getting a sense of this energy, this aspect. And moving northeast, sensing into Syria. Syria. And to the very north, into Lebanon. And becoming aware of this area being part of the wider Middle East region. Zooming out a bit, seeing this large area, and bring now into our awareness the USA. Taking a moment to just sense into this part, this influence in the region. Holding our alignment as silent watchers, just observing, releasing all judgment. And including in our awareness also the influence of several other nations in the region. Holding for another moment this complex situation. So by giving it space, holding it, it may move into a higher order. Let us realign with our higher co-workers, standing around us, protective, aligning with the stream of the will to love coming from them. And feel it entering our hearts, into this place between the shoulder blades, where love and will unite. And as we stand between our higher co-workers, and the people in this area of war. Let us remember that we are all souls, sisters and brothers in the one human family, working something out here. And now see and sense a shaft of pure golden white soul light coming from our higher co-workers, streaming through us, broad and brilliant, pouring through each of our hearts, out onto the whole region. Let our combined soul light flood the whole area. And as we do so as a group, let us invoke soul consciousness in all participants of this war, tracing a line to soul consciousness for them. And let us visualize the inhabitants move along this line through the suffering towards soul awareness, lifting. We take a moment to accompany this process with our love. Focusing in now on the thinkers on both sides and in the other nations. Those who work behind the scenes for a true solution. Let us see them being aligned with their souls and with their higher guidance and being held in a protective space. And visualize these thinkers evolving the needed new ways towards true resolution, firmly based on our common humanness. And while the outer happenings continue, let us keep this visualization of these new thought forms of solution slowly taking shape, gaining substance. And see the mental space in which they emerge, slowly becoming lighter, brighter, becoming more penetrable to the soul energy. And see this soul energy flowing from the mental, through the mental, into the emotional sphere. Soothing, reordering, and down into the earth. See this soul light touching the old wounds, the old ancient patterns. And see it flow through as a purifying energy. And see this soul light nurturing the many small local initiatives on both sides, which are coming out, being born out of the pain and out of the slow gathering of the will for another way. See this other way slowly appearing in the region, out of all these many everyday small lights. See a higher order based on right relations taking shape in the entire Middle East, right relations between these countries and all the forces being involved. Let us take one more moment to hold space for this possibility. And we continue to hold this picture of right relations in the Middle East as we sound the great invocation in Hebrew and in Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז, אשר נקרא המין האנושי. ושם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشاع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب إلى قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي ندعون بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر. ليجدد النور والحب والقوة، التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.